activated through Xinghe's alchemy instead.
Oh!
Sending a declaration of
A declaration of war? Dude, it's just like Attack on Titan. There are so many parallels.
Let's send a declaration.
A declaration of war?
Dr. Marcoh and Scar are hiding out.
No! No! You dead. I'm pissed. Welcome back to another Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood video. Today we have episode 43, and yesterday was a very, very special day for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people as well. It was the finale of Attack on Titan, one of the greatest shows to have ever existed. It was perfect. I loved it. My reaction to that is up on the channel if that's something any of you are interested in. But not that I needed any more motivation to continue watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, but I just feel like I just want to just binge this show right now. I want all the answers. I want to experience all the greatness that is still to come in this show, because when you look at the all-time anime ratings, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood still sits at the very top, with Attack on Titan after the finale dropping being just behind it. And that just says that in these final 20 episodes, there are going to be some absolutely fantastic things, and I cannot wait to experience all of them. So with that being said, last episode was another great one. We had, several declarations of war, Hohenheim to father, and Kimberly essentially with Drachma and Briggs. So we have a lot that can happen this episode. We still don't have an update on what's going on with Ed. Will we see more of this war between Drachma and Briggs? Maybe some more stuff in Central. I'm really curious about all of it, but I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to go straight into the episode. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, episode 43. Yeah, here we go, straight to the Briggs War with Drachma. Oh my god, look at all, yep, look, emphasis on the bloodshed.
Kimberly, where are you?
And it's not going well for Drachma at all by the looks of it. This seems to be their leader.
Happening? Who guaranteed victory? What happened to the turncoats who
He did not care. Oh my god. No, Kimberly, he just wanted to guarantee bloodshed. That's what he wanted.
That was too easy. But why?
Yeah, that's the question. Look at Kimberly, what a demon.
Crest is carved.
That's the last one, right?
You aren't listening. I told you. Alchemy is all about reading.
Okay, here we go.
You have no idea what that even means. See, it's easy. You just point.
Look at the two of them. Okay, so I'm wondering if we're gonna get an outcome of Zampano snitching on them. Good.
Evil little children. Where the hell is Zampano? Why does he get to wander off while I get told?
He is snitching, man.
Hey!
Who do we have here?
They're close by. Follow me.
Looks like an Ishvalan.
You lead the way.
It's Envy. It's Envy. Bite of the ant. I have no idea what that could mean.
So I hear you've discovered Salim's true identity.
Oh!
Yes, sir.
And you're also aware of who I am.
Yes.
Oh, it's terrifying.
I'm interested.
You see her scar is already gone.
As a loyal citizen of this country, how do you feel about your leader being a homunculus?
The family I've answered to and trusted isn't real. That you don't even have that much. You're just putting on an act.
Everything from my power down to my rank was appointed to me. Most of my life is just an act. But my wife, at least, was of my own choosing.
Oh. So he did, so that was true.
Finished with the tea.
The story that his wife told about how they met.
Yes, sir.
Delicious, thank you.
Oh, I'm still so intrigued by Bradley.
You were one of the bigwig researchers at the Fifth Laboratory?
I wasn't that important. I just had a few men working for me.
Humble Marcoh.
It's been ages since I've spoken with any of them.
Oh. And they're all in Kimberly's Philosopher's Stone now, right? I believe.
Who is this man with?
But Envy is here.
Just a nice drifter I met. He was hoping you might be able to examine
You
the
can
process.
stop something.
Oh my god.
He's falling for your.
We're not messing around here. God, Envy has found Marcoh.
It's been too long. I
like what you've done with your face. You honestly believed you could pull one over on me?
Huh?
What is this?
Now, what were you saying about my acting?
Is he a double agent?
Thank you, Envy. You couldn't have made our
What?
for you here any easier. As we expected. You take such delight in your cruelty. I knew you'd
Your cruelty is what Kimberly said. I was gonna comment on this. They really just sent Envy. They know Scar is here at least. I don't know if they know that Winry and May and Alphonse are here as well. But now that we know that Zampano's a real one. I was so mad that Zampano had potentially betrayed them last episode because I was loving all these chimeras like changing sides and coming around. But this is great. So Zampano could pick and choose the information he told Envy and Wrath, saying it's just Scar and Marcoh. So Envy's turned up. Right, I can take Scar. But no, it's everyone else. They've lured Envy here. That's twice in like a matter of maybe 3 or 4 episodes where they've put something in at the end of the episode and then we come into the next one and it's just something completely different. Fantastic. Let's see what happens here then. They clearly have a plan for Envy.
And now that you got me here, would you ask for it?
Holy shit.
They're like landmines loaded with alchemy.
Landmines with alchemy? That's so cool.
What kind of alchemy doesn't even exist?
Because it's alchemy.
You say they're landmines? Well, then all I have to do is follow your footsteps to avoid them.
They really have this planned out.
They're set to detonate for homunculi.
Wow.
How does it feel to have the tables turned on you? It's
Envy gonna transform?
not that side, is it?
Talk to him, Marcoh. What's going on back here? Alphonse and May.
Technically, he doesn't know it's remote Alchemist.
Yep.
You should have just done as you were told. But if you stop
Here we go. Here we go.
then I'll show you who's in charge.
Okay, Envy. Oh, this is nuts. Wait, what? Oh my god, that was such a different transformation than last time. But it's the same form. Here are the souls. I wonder if these landmines are going to have an effect on Envy in this form.
That was a close one.
Oh, let's go. In Chimera form. Okay. Both of them, Jerzo and Zampano. Oh, this is so cool. Oh my, okay, yes they do. They are massive. Here we go, it's Scar. Oh shit.
What do you think of this?
How much damage are we doing here?
Is he dead?
Oh shit. Playing dead. They need Marcoh, I believe. They need Marcoh. But now Envy has a hostage. Oh shit.
That slum is ripe for destruction.
Oh, the Ishvalan village.
But it would be wasteful to simply kill them. I could always take them back to Central instead.
Make them into a Philosopher's Stone.
You're still using souls to make philosopher stones? I won't let you.
Look at Envy's different eyes.
Damn it.
It's a little
It's too late. They're in Kimberly's Philosopher's Stone.
stones.
You sacrificed my men.
It's not right for you to get so upset considering all the stones you've made. And all the lives you put into them.
What do we do about this situation?
You're right. I sacrificed.
Oh, I don't like this at all. That makes me so uncomfortable.
I know better than anyone else how much pain goes into creating.
Yep. Talk to him, Marcoh.
And not only do I know how to create them,
Okay.
I know how to destroy them.
Okay. Wait. He's destroying Envy's stone. Wait, do we lose Envy here? That's Tim Marcoh. Has he known this the whole time? Is this information we could have used? Look at Marcoh. I never would have expected this from Marcoh.
That's where the doctor and the others were headed.
The red light, Philosopher's Stone. Is this Envy gone? There's the stone. Is it gone? All the souls. Oh, that's. Oh my god, I hate that. Oh.
How could this happen?
This is not looking good for Envy.
Quit looking at me.
Envy's gone.
You're looking
That's a sick shot with Scar behind.
down on me, you worm!
What's that doing? What's that doing? Oh, oh my god. And just like that, we've lost Envy.
This is the thing that caused so much damage.
Is that Envy's like true form?
We did it, Marcoh. We won.
Scar and Marcoh together. That's insane. The show just does it. Envy's gone! Envy is gone! I'm gonna miss Envy, I'm not gonna lie. That was wild.
Are you sure about that?
Or maybe Envy's not gone.
I can't believe you guys would keep me in the dark about this.
Shut up, Yoki.
That's what you get for picking a fight with us humans, Brutus.
Yoki, you're doing too much.
I had to take a risk and think for myself this time.
Let's go.
Put my fear aside and did what was right. I wanted
Good
to
man.
be like your parents.
Oh, that's tough. Yoki, you're an idiot. So is Envy still alive then? Just in that form?
Help! Get it off me!
Oh shit.
Hijack this idiot's body.
Oh no.
Stop it! Let go!
Oh no.
Now, if you want him to live, you'll do as I tell you.
Nah, he's all yours. Do what you want. Not a friend or anything.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry, I didn't know you better.
We'll never forget your
What are we doing?
Please, Mr. Scar! You won't stand back and let this thing kill me! Right?
What?
What is this? Doesn't anyone care about this guy?
You're wasting your time, Envy.
Yeah, right.
Accepted the measures we'll have to take to defeat you. We'll destroy
Damn.
you and
Okay, Envy's not gone. I jumped the gun on that, but interesting.
Nice acting, Doctor.
I'm afraid I'm not used to bluffing like that.
They didn't want to get rid of Yoki, but yeah.
None of you guys are my friends! How could you? You're dead to me!
They had to get Envy off of him.
So,
Little homunculus in the flask situation.
spit it out, you slut. You're either gonna talk
Dude,
or
okay.
die. That's it.
So what's the deal? Why isn't the Fullmetal pipsqueak with you?
That's what I'm saying. Where's Ed?
Pretty sure he's at Briggs by now.
Last thing I heard, he's gone missing.
They don't know about this yet. Uh-oh, they're gonna be worried now.
He's lying. He has to be.
Yeah, don't worry. Are we finally getting an update on Ed?
What now? Should we head back to Boston?
There's no way we get 2 episodes in a row without Ed in it.
No, that's not what Brother would want. He would trust that I was alright and wouldn't let a rumor stop him.
That's facts. Good, Al. Alphonse got his head screwed on.
Give up hope yet.
I'll go my separate way for now. I don't intend to simply punish this country for what it did to Ishval. I want to change it. And I'll need your help
Let's go, Scar!
to set things right.
Yes!
all right.
Scar and
Travel together.
Yes!
In order to change this country.
Actually, I've got some place I've been meaning to check out.
She might be thinking about Shing too.
It's a town called Lior.
Ooh.
Not sure.
Here, May. Take this thing and return to your country. It's the remnants of a seemingly indestructible creature. It might appease your emperor enough to save your clan.
Look at Scar. Yeah, but it's a Philosopher's Stone. Yeah.
You need to think about your own country. Have you forgotten why you came here in the first place?
Dude, Scar has... I'm so happy.
Will you apologize and tell them you were too busy saving another country?
I think May's thinking a bit deeper now than just about Shing and her clan.
Forget this place. Leave this country's problems to its people.
Scar showing he cares about May. He doesn't want her to get caught up in this. Oh, look at him. She go?
Thank you for everything.
Aw. Damn, she actually goes.
Take care, May.
But she'll be back.
Oh, fun. Alphonse, I'll miss you. Good luck.
Dude, so much has happened this episode. I'm exhausted.
Thank you. Goodbye.
This is happening very quickly.
Safe journey, May.
But she's going back to Shing.
We should start moving as well.
Let's go.
Scar and Marcoh go off as well. Okay. What's going on here? Huh?
Poor Mr. Greed.
Huh? Poor Mr. Greed.
No luck. Izumi Curtis and her husband are apparently on vacation and didn't say when.
Okay, okay, I remember this guy. Okay, I think he's talking about, this is one of the guys that was with the original Greed, right? I believe I remember him. So when he said poor Mr. Greed, I think he's talking about the original Greed. Because these guys are here looking for Izumi, and that's where, you know, Ed and Al and Bradley fought Greed, where they live. Okay. They're looking for Izumi on Bradley's orders. Interesting.
We should report back to Fuhrer Bradley. There's not much else we can do.
Bradley.
Yep. And he was watching. Might be the only one that lived.
I might find Mr. Greed if
He's
I
gonna
follow them.
Ooh. It's a different Greed though. He's underneath? Yeah, I can see him down there. Yeah. This is an interesting development. Armstrong? And Olivia. I
Address me as general.
want to learn more about their dynamic.
You're just as gutless as I remember you being.
So, I heard your men completely annihilated the Drachma forces.
Of course they did.
He's in the enemy's transmutation circle.
Yes, you do.
Duty to defend the border. And that's what they did.
Well, she's not wrong, but big picture.
Is this man your brother?
I don't consider him my brother.
He's very
Why
different.
He deserted his country in Ishbal.
Oh, of course. I should have been able to realize that. Like, Olivier is very devoted to Amestris and her country. She's said that multiple times, and so I guess that's why she doesn't like Al Armstrong as much here in Central, because, you know, he abandoned the war, the Ishvalan war, but he was doing what he felt was right.
Are you familiar with the 3 state-appointed tenets of alchemy?
Of course. Obey the military. Do not create gold. Do not create people.
Yep, okay. Where are we going? Underneath Central?
Why do you suppose the state would so firmly enforce this regulation?
It's simply unethical, sir.
What? Oh my god.
No interest in ethics.
Is this father? Oh!
Use as a guideline. The
Wait.
true reason is far less abstract. The third tenet is to prevent someone from creating their own army, General.
Oh my god, this is what father is doing. There's definitely a post-credits here. Maybe we are gonna get a massive war. This is what father's doing with all these philosopher stones, maybe, or something. It might not be human transmutation. That's what, I don't know. I have too many questions. Anyway, post-credits.
I think so. It's around here somewhere.
Hohenheim was here. It's Rose.
Rose!
Oh, this,
Hey, Al, where's Ed? Isn't he with you?
No, we're traveling separately right now.
Oh, that's too bad.
when we're gonna get jealous.
I really missed him.
Oh, that's good.
Winry? Oh, nothing. You just kind of had a funny look on your face.
Okay, Rose. These pots are as clean as they get. You have anything else?
Yo! Oh! Oh!
Reunion, revival, and resolution.
I'm watching the next episode straight away, man. Okay, when they mentioned they were going to Lior, I did immediately think of, you know, Hohenheim was just there, and Al was talking about maybe the tunnel connects there, you know, because that's where one of the crests of blood have been carved. And I thought they'd ask about, you know, the tunnel, and Rose would be like, huh, we just had someone else come here asking about the tunnel. But no, Hohenheim's helping Rose with all the cooking and stuff she's doing for the people as they rebuild Lior. And now Winry and Al have just met Hohenheim. I'm so excited to see what happens here, because now Hohenheim is such a different character than he was, you know, the last time Ed met him. I actually can't remember if Alphonse was with Ed or not when he met Hohenheim. Anyway, we'll see. Speaking of Ed, that is 2 episodes in a row we haven't seen him. Crazy. But so much happened this episode. I'll go chronologically now. So straight off the bat, we get the Briggs and Drachma fight, and it's over in less than a minute. Briggs have absolutely mopped the floor with Drachma because Kimberly has given, presumably, the leader of Drachma false information. Like, I got guys on the inside, you know, who are going to make this fight a guaranteed victory for us. But no, it was a guaranteed victory for Kimberly, right? Because he just needed to soak the land in blood, Briggs made easy work of the Drachma forces, and now the crest has been carved. That's the last crest. Like, Father can do his thing now, pretty much, right? And then we get a little scene of, you know, May trying to teach Al the basics of alchemy and the rest of the gang in the Ishvalan refugee camp. And immediately I'm thinking about, okay, we know Zampano has just gone and snitched on them. And then we see Zampano go to meet up with Envy disguised as an Ishvalan. And I'm like, okay, things are about to go down. And we get a really, really good scene between Hawkeye and Bradley. It was very short, but there is a lot to unpack from it. I love how nonchalantly Bradley just says to Hawkeye, sorry, I heard you found out Salim's a homunculus. And it's just like, oh, dude, he's just so blunt about it. And given the nature of their situation, like, Bradley can't really do anything to Hawkeye, all right? Because, you know, he's still using Hawkeye to threaten Roy. So Bradley can just ask Hawkeye, what do you think that, you know, the leader of your country is a homunculus? And Hawkeye can just be incredibly honest and just say, look, I don't like it. You know, she thinks it's sad that the family she's answering to isn't real, right? It's all just an act, you know? Salim has been appointed as Bradley's son by Father. Bradley has been, you know, put here by Father. And Bradley doesn't really show too much emotion throughout this scene, but he does say, yeah, most of my life is just an act. And it's just really interesting because we know he is Wrath, right? He is the embodiment of Wrath, but I still ask the question, even though I believe I understand like the nature of Wrath at this point. I'm like, is the original Bradley or the original person still in there somewhere? Or maybe Wrath is having this internal like conflict because again, he's so blunt about the way he talks, but you still get the feeling there's a little bit more to Bradley somehow. You know, most of my life is just an act, but I did get to choose my wife, which is really interesting because naturally he did need to have a wife if he was to fill this role, right? And have, you know, Salim, you know, act as his son. You know, there needed to be a wife in the picture, and Bradley did get to choose, right? So I guess when Bradley's wife was explaining the story of how they met, you know, she was telling the truth. This is exactly, you know, what happened, which is really interesting to me. Like, I'm just going to keep all of this in my mind, you know, and just, I feel like something's going to happen with Bradley. He's the homunculus that has, you know, the most depth and development to him, right? It's very interesting. And then we get, you know, the little plot twist. Zampano was like being a double agent. You know, he's pretended to go off and snitch. It was all a plan. They knew Envy would want to come out by himself, which I was a bit shook by. I was like, really? They just sent Envy, but I guess Zampano's only told them it's Scar and Marcoh. And Envy, I guess, fancied his chances against just Scar, and I guess counting out that Marcoh can't really do much, which to me, I was also thinking the same thing, but Marcoh clearly shows us otherwise. But it was all a ploy, which I'm very happy about. I'm glad Zampano is still kind of following through with his, you know, ideologies of turning around against Kimberly and becoming, you know, like a better person, trying to get his bodies back. I'm really happy about this for all the chimeras that are getting involved like this. They had this massive plan. They knew Envy would come out by himself. They've laid all these traps under the snow, which they can remotely detonate with alchemy, which is really cool. And Envy has no idea how any of that works. So they just explain it to him in a very different way. Like, it's only designed to go off against them. Homunculi, no, May is hiding off with Alphonse and just detonating them at will, which is so cool. And with the help of Zampano and Jerzo in Chimera form, Scar coming in as well, they just about handle Envy. Envy does manage to take Marcoh as a hostage. They have a really intense conversation about Marcoh saying, stop using my men to create Philosopher's Stones. Envy's like, it's too late. You know, we've already used them to make Philosopher's Stones. They're gone. And we get, to me, what is just a culmination of all of this build-up with Marcoh's character, everything he's been through, how badly he feels about what he's been made to do and what he has done in the past in the Ishvalan War, creating all these Philosopher's Stones. You know, Envy's like, you know, you should know more than anyone with all the Philosopher's Stones you have made. And Marcoh says, you're right. Right? As this child, you know, depiction of one of the souls of Xerxes on Envy's body is like tugging at Marcoh's clothes. Marcoh says, you're right. You know, I know more than anyone, right? I've sacrificed so many innocent lives. He says, I know how much pain goes into creating them, and he feels so bad about it. He understands what he's done. And he says, not only do I know how to make them, I know how to destroy them as well. Takes his glove off, transmutation circle on his hand, And just an incredible sequence. Like, this is just a side of Marcoh we haven't seen. I never thought we would see Marcoh like this, but he pretty much reduces Envy all the way down into that tiny little tadpole thing. It looked like Envy's Philosopher's Stone was destroyed there. Like Marcoh said, he knows how to destroy them, which is really interesting if he's had this information this entire time. But I'm assuming at this point, Envy is no longer a Philosopher's Stone and therefore no longer a homunculus, but just that tiny little tadpole form, right? Otherwise, I assume Envy could regenerate, right? But I thought Envy was gone. The way Envy was disintegrating, it was just like lust. But Envy's still around, just in that tiny tadpole form. But such a massive moment for Marcoh, really like embodying, you know, how much of a turnaround he's trying to have, you know, setting out, trying to make things right, make up for all the bad things that he's done throughout his life. But it was a really nuts scene of Envy like disintegrating and forming into that tadpole. It was, Envy was like connected in all these weird ways to its massive form, and then, you know, like mouths coming out of each other, and then eventually into that little tadpole thing. Was pretty nuts. And I love when they get back to the refugee camp and Marcoh's kind of explaining, you know, I had to do this, I had to do what I felt was right, you know, and he says to Winry, I wanted to be like your parents, right? And that's such a big thing for Marcoh to say, and it's a big thing for Winry to hear as well. And I just love how, you know, Envy's still in this little tadpole form, tries to take Yoki hostage, and it's so funny how they're all just like, you can take him. Like, Envy's trying to, you know, like, I'll kill this guy, I will, and they're all like, and you know, Marcoh, they said to Marcoh specifically, good acting, doctor. But they're all just shrugging off, no, you can kill Yoki, and Yoki's like, no! It is so funny. I love it. But definitely, at least, I reckon Scar, May, and Marcoh, you know, definitely don't want Yoki to die. They've been traveling with him for a long time, but they had to put that on. I like to think that some of them were being true, though. It's really funny. But eventually, they get Envy off of Yoki when they kind of convince Envy, like, we really don't care if you kill Yoki. Like, Marcoh was like, I am willing to accept the risks to defeat you. And then they trap Envy, and they want to get some information out of him. The only information they actually get is that Ed is missing, which does hit Alphonse and especially Winry pretty hard. But Alphonse, with his head screwed on, is able to say, look, I'm going to trust my brother here. He wouldn't want us chasing after some rumor, especially when it's just come from Envy. Envy could just be saying whatever he wants to. I'm going to follow my gut. We're going to go to Lior, right? And we're going to suss out this tunnel situation. Now let's talk about Scar. I have been waiting for this moment where Scar actually says these things for so long, and I'm so happy about it. He starts saying, look, I've realized that the actions I've been taking are wrong. I don't want to punish this country for what it did to Ishval. I want to change it, right? Now that he has all this knowledge of what's really going on, how Amestris really is, he's like, no, I want to change it, right? If Amestris was a different way, none of this would have happened. And a little flash to Miles as well, right? Very symbolic. You know, he's had some big moments with Miles, and he's really taken a lot of what Miles has said to heart, right? As a red-eyed brother of his. And saying he needs Marcoh's help, you know, the two of us have to set things right, right? Marcoh was a big reason why the Ishvalan war went the way it did. Scar has done a lot of crazy things because of the way he's seen what happened to Ishval. He's like, the two of us need to set things right. So huge for the pair of them. It's such a crazy pairing, right? Considering when they first met, you know, down underneath Central, Marcoh is pretty much saying, you need to kill me. You are Scar. You know, I destroyed, you know, Ishval. I need to atone for this by having you kill me. And Scar damn well could have in that moment. You could see how angry Scar was. And now here, they're pretty much working together to rectify what's been done. You know, absolutely fantastic character writing. I just love it. I love massive character turnarounds like this. And if that wasn't enough, we get Scar giving Envy to May, saying, take this back to Xing. This is an undying being. Perhaps it's going to give your clan enough leverage, right, to survive. And it's just after, you know, they're talking about changing the country, it pans to May, and she's thinking, like, in order to change this country. But she eventually agrees to leave. Like, she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to leave everyone. She's all uncertain now about, like, you know, this is still Envy. Is this still to do with the Philosopher's Stone? Is this the right thing to do to take this back? I know so much now about what's happening in Amestris. Maybe I can help. But Scar, you know, after traveling with May for so long, is essentially saying, look, I really care about you. I don't want you to get caught up in all of this craziness that's about to happen in Amestris. Go back and worry about your country. Don't worry about Amestris, right? Go and save your clan. Go and be in Xing, you know? And my initial reaction to all of this is, right, we know Lan Fan and Fu, left as well. They're going to try and fix up Lan Fan's arm, but we know they're going to be back, and I know Mei is going to be back as well. So are we going to get like a massive allied forces from Xing maybe to come and help in this war? It's really interesting to think about. Like if Mei returns with this, with Envy, and perhaps she can explain to even at least her clan, maybe Ling's clan as well when Lan Fan and Fu return. It's just, there's so much to think about there, but I know they're all going to come back. I really wonder how they're going to be involved. So everyone goes their separate ways. Mei starts to return to Xing with Envy, has a very emotional goodbye with Alphonse, which, it's come a long way. Scar and Marcoh go off on their own. I'm not entirely sure where. I don't think they mentioned specifically. Scar just said, I'm going to travel alone, but I need Marcoh with me, so we'll see what they end up going to do. And everyone else goes off to Lior, which we see in the post-credit scene that I've already spoken about. I will touch on it again briefly once we get to the end of the episode here. And then we get a very interesting scene back in the town that Izumi lives in. I can't remember what it's called, but we see one of the chimeras that was with the original Greed. He comes out saying, I think Bido was his name. He's talking about poor Mr. Greed, and initially I'm thinking, like Ling? But no, once I realized where they were, when we saw these soldiers, looking for Izumi, I was like, okay, I remember. It's this guy, one of Greed's chimeras. He's talking about the original Greed. He sees these soldiers talking about Bradley. Bido remembers Bradley was the one responsible for killing or perhaps taking Greed, because it seems like Bido believes Greed is still alive. He's latched onto the bottom of the car and he's going with them, right? Potentially to Central. Very interesting. Another interesting thing is that, Izumi is away on vacation. We did see, Izumi meet up with Hohenheim. So I wonder exactly where Izumi is right now. And then we get this situation in Central. Now, this was a bit bonkers, but initially we get the Armstrong sibling interaction, and it did take me a while to kind of click into this. But the reason Olivier, kind of despises her brother is because Olivier is very proud and devoted towards a mistress, right? And when our Armstrong, I'm pretty sure his first name is Alex, I hope I haven't gotten that wrong, when he's talking about, I hear your soldiers defeated Drachma, she's like, of course they did, this is the Briggs way, this is what we do. Won't that speed up, the enemy's transmutation circle? It doesn't matter, they did what they were supposed to do. Pretty much saying, how Alex Armstrong, left the Ishvalan War, he couldn't do it. So you can kind of see, where this dynamic comes from between the two of them. Olivia is very upset at him, for not doing what he was meant to do, for a mistress. But we understand why Alex did this, right? Like we've seen, what he went through, what he was feeling, and we understand what a lot of the other characters like Hughes, Roy, and Hawkeye feel about the war as well. So then we get one of the soldiers taking Olivier seemingly further down into Central. Now we know all sorts of crazy things goes on underneath Central, but this was pretty nuts. So the 3 state-appointed tenets of alchemy. I don't know if we've specifically covered this before in the show, but if they're state-appointed, you can assume they are put there by the military, right? The first one, obey the military. Okay, makes sense. Second one, don't create gold. Okay, again, makes sense. The whole financial imbalance that would create. Yep, makes sense. And thirdly, don't create people. That's the one we know as the taboo, human transmutation, just don't do it. The first 2 make a lot of sense, right? And the third one, like Olivia says, you would just think, right, it's just simply unethical, right? This is just something you should not do. But this soldier, his name is Gardner here, he explains, no, the reason the state has enforced this is so that we can be the only ones to create this army. So this is what has been going on this whole time. Father has been creating this massive army. Now, there are 2 things you could think about this. One is just, there is going to be a war. These are Father's soldiers, right? This is what he's going to use, right? He could perhaps put all of these souls into these bodies, maybe from the Emestrian transmutation circle. It's just a possibility. Maybe he has some other way. Maybe they all have their own Philosopher's Stone or something. I don't know. The second thing is, this is the League of Immortal Soldiers that all the soldiers that are alive and corrupt are talking about. And I think perhaps Father could just be, manipulating them into helping him get this whole situation happening. But the actual Legion of Immortal Soldiers are going to be all these bodies. But those are both just 2 theories. I'm not saying any of that. It could potentially be what happens. It's just where my mind is going. Now, initially, I'm looking at the symbols on, all of the bodies' faces, and it kind of reminded me of the first Greed's ultimate shield, right? And I was thinking, right, because Father reabsorbed Greed, maybe he's doing this. But no, Greed is now in Ling. Unless this all happened before Perhaps it just looks similar. The pattern in general does just kind of remind me of the homunculi. I might have seen it on Envy or maybe Gluttony as well. So perhaps it could just be nothing, but that's just what it's reminding me of. It might literally be nothing. But that's really interesting going forward. It just gives you so many things to think about. So I really can't wait to find out more about how that's all happened. What are they really going to do with all of this massive army, you know? And that's it. We go straight into the outro, and then we get the final scene at Lior, which I did talk about already. But another episode without Ed. It's just crazy. 2 episodes without Ed. You know, what is he and Darius and Heinkel doing? Like, where are they going? Are they going to be okay? They have a Philosopher's Stone with them. It's so interesting. There's still so much to think about. And I guess you do have to draw attention to why is Gardner showing Olivia all of this, because she's trying to get in, you know, into that, the role that Raven was, you know, become one of the people who are going to become in that Legion of Immortal Soldiers, right? But Olivia having this information is so big for everything else, right? Because now she can warn everyone else potentially, and I don't know, who knows what that means. Like, there seemingly is going to be a massive war, which I'm very excited about. But lots to look forward to next episode. I can't wait to see how this whole interaction with Hohenheim and Winry and Alphonse goes. I really want to see more of Ed. But overall, another fantastic episode. I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel if you want to see more content like this and for other shows as well. And as always, please continue to leave your comments and feedback down below. You know, I always appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next episode of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.